Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
This week, the ask is very different. It is primal, instinctual, visceral.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
This week, you are one of many.
Out of many, we are one. And those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can.
A piece of the puzzle, a tip of the spear, a spark plug for a revving engine.
The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave.
You follow orders, you wear the colors, and you give it everything you've got.
That challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
For the big point, for the best team, for the President's Cup.
Good morning, welcome inside Studio AP. Yes, this Wednesday edition on the eve of the President's Cup. Gary Williams, Chris DeMarco, John Cook. And before we get into everything, congratulations certainly to the inductees last night.
Yes.
It's such a distinct honor, but you know what? Bravo to our partner, Carl Robinson, and the job she did emceeing that event. Good morning.
Good morning, Gary. Yeah, she did an excellent job. Very, very fun to watch and very four deserving people.
Yeah. She's a graceful lady, and she had a great smile on her face the whole night.
She had the energy, gave the energy to the rest of the crew, and those inductees just handled themselves so beautifully.
Yeah, and you know what? Also, kudos, 36 living members of the Hall of Fame made the decision and the effort to be there. And I know that meant a lot to those 4 living members, and of course, posthumously with Henry Longhurst. But for now, the rest of the gang. Charlie, Matt, good morning.
Hey, and good morning, guys. John Cook used the word energy there. Matt, you lived in Manhattan for 20 years. Is there a better place to have a big sporting event like the President's Cup than Manhattan?
No, I'm #1 city in the world for me. After all my travels, everywhere I've been, if you give me one city to spend some time in, it's New York City.
So much for everybody to do there, including the players who got a chance yesterday to stop by and see Jimmy Fallon on the set of The Tonight Show.
We are joined right now by 3 of the best junior golfers in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 5-year-old Isaac Riches, 8-year-old Aiden Denani, and 10-year-old Madison Moman right there. Where are you from and what grade are you in?
I start kindergarten in 122 days, and I'm from Australia.
And who's your favorite golfer?
Jason Day, because he's an Aussie like me.
There, that's right. There you go. You ever meet him before?
No, but if I did, I'd give him a big hug or cuddle.
Please welcome 2 of the best golfers on the planet, Jason Day and Jordan Spieth.
How cool was that? Oh, thank you, Junior.
Give me a hug. Give me a hug and a cuddle.
Yeah,
it's a hug and a cuddle.
I don't even feel uncomfortable giving you a hug. Yeah, really cool stuff for the players. Gary, back over to you. Let's do another hug.
All right, Charlie.
Hug and a cuddle.
Charlie, actually, you should be hugging me. That's the same size differential between Jason Day and that 5-year-old. Well, what is happening now? Media tour. And you know what? There's a term in television called doing a car wash, when you do a bunch of different media. Well, when you go to New York City, there's an awful lot for these players to do, and they did it yesterday. Take a look.
You know, this year, the President's Cup, being in Liberty National here, you know, so close to New York City, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very, very electric out there. The fans around here are they're pretty enthusiastic about golf, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And then we're playing with Payne Stewart and Fred Couples, and you know how Payne could be.
Yeah.
He was giving me grief the whole time.
Maybe we should come up with some new material. Dan?
That I should? But that's the only time
Oh, man.
Wait a minute. Wow.
Sorry. My bad.
He's digging you right now.
Well, I didn't bring up how many wins you've had recently.
You said you want Jordan to sign your towel?
I would absolutely love that. That would be an honor.
Texas strong, Texas proud, right?
We are. Yes, we are.
You got the thing.
Oh, you got it. Oh, great.
Fantastic. Jordan, you're a great guy.
I think we have a good team, a solid team. I mean, statistically, the Americans have a better team on paper. But saying that, we've come together as a team, and I think we're ready. I definitely think the Americans have a lot more pressure on them than us, because we're actually, everyone's expecting us to lose, so we don't have to worry about anything. We're just going to go out and play.
Guys, have fun. We're really happy that it's come to New York. Liberty National is a great course, and we know you're going to do it justice. Thank you so much.
That's a pretty good day. And full disclosure, you know that Matt Lauer loves the game of golf. Joe Kernan, who's the host of Squawk Box, is a member of Baltusrol. He is obsessed with the game. Nothing like New York City.
Oh my gosh, nothing like it. I remember playing at Bethpage in 2002, right after 9/11, and everything that was going on with that, and it was so awesome. Just such a great place. The energy there is unreal.
John, you're a SoCal guy, but NYC.
Oh, NYC. I never really got to appreciate NYC, just, going there to play golf. But, once I got there and Jan and I would walk the city and take in the shows and everything else. High energy. Love going to New York City.
No doubt about it. I spent 2 years walking through Times Square to work at 4 a.m. I saw some very interesting things, I can promise you. Now, it's about preparation. Final day, they're going to obviously begin the President's Cup tomorrow. You both have had the experience, different experiences, as a player, as an assistant captain. What is about today, Chris?
Well, tomorrow is foursome, so there's 5 matches tomorrow. So if you're playing, I'm playing with my partner tomorrow. I'm playing in the foursome match. I'm playing alternate shot the whole day. I'm getting myself prepared for that round of golf. I'm going to find out, what holes we decide that if I want to hit the odd holes or he wants to hit the odd holes, whatever that might be, and just getting our strategy down, how we're going to play this golf course, and just kind of practice towards that, and then just really work on the short game. I think that's all you have to button up. We always talk about preparation for majors and big tournaments like this, and for me, it's about, if you're trying to find it on Wednesday, you're searching for the wrong things. Now it's time to just kind of get yourself ready for the golf tournament itself.
As an assistant captain of Fred Couples 2011, what were you thinking about the day before?
I was trying to get the pulse rate of the players. What do you want to do today? I mean, as far as your preparation, like Chris said, they're going to go out and play foursomes today. They're going to try to do 9 holes, 18 holes, whatever they're going to do. They're going to try to, whatever strategy they're going to have. So my role really for Fred was, I had a couple of players that I would kind of walk and talk with and just be around. Billy Haas and Nick Watney, just as a veteran player. They were, this is 2011, so they were young.
Sure.
But this was their rookie, first attempts at President's Cup.
And on the road.
And on the road. So because my experience as a Ryder Cup was on the road as well. So I kind of knew how to handle a lot of that. So I was walking around with them. And then Fred really kind of leaned on me, being the son of a coach. What do you think about, as a team aspect? And I said, we have to win the threes. Don't give away the par threes. So I thought that the par threes were the most important holes.
Don't make bogeys.
You don't make bogeys. Just don't give away a par 3. You might get beat with a 2. Don't get beat with a 3.
Okay.
And so I really charted out the par 3s and had, good strategy for the par 3s.
Well, it's been a very special week. And what else is happening now is the 5 inductees into the 2017 class. You see Meg Mallon, 2-time U.S. Open champion, 4-time major champion, of course, a Masters champion, one of the great players of Europe now. The whole Big 5 is in there. Lorena Ochoa, one of the most graceful women in the game, and of course, Davis Love III. Here's a sampling of their reflections on the evening.
It's also true. I was kicked off a practice facility, not because I was a woman, but because I was an LPGA player. It seemed like we were constantly being told what we were not, rather than what we were. What we are? The best damn female golfers in the world who have persevered and been better for it.
I was once asked by a gentle member of my golf club around the age of 14. He said, "Young Woosnam, what are you going to do when you leave school?" I said, "I'm going to be a professional golfer, like my heroes, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and Gary Player." Then he laughed and he tapped me on the head and said, "Well, if you want to try to achieve all that, you're going to have to grow a little."
You win tournaments, you feel comfortable, you are getting all this attention, and the more you win, the more you can help and give back. And I think it's a responsibility if we can do it. That's my motivation still today. I travel, I play tournaments, I do exhibitions, and everything is for these kids so they can continue their education and we can help them and change their life.
Eloise, your great-grandfather, played in U.S. Opens. Your grandfather did too. Your mom's brother, your Uncle Drew, has played in one. Maybe there'll be more to come for him and for me as his caddy. You can't know. Golf makes no guarantees. Maybe someday you'll play in the U.S. Open. That's up to you. But whether you do or don't, I hope the game I know and love will be there for you as it was and as it is for me.
Wonderful evening again. Congratulations to all of them. Charlie, did you feel there was a theme to the evening?
You know, it felt huge, and you know, not only was I thrilled to see the inductees go in the Hall of Fame, but all of the current members in attendance.
36 of them.
It was an amazing night. You know, anytime you get a gathering like that, it's a special night for golf, and that's certainly what we saw last night.
Needed some tissues, for sure.
Yeah.
No question about it.
My goodness.
No doubt about it. You touched on it briefly, but I want you to revisit your family's relationship with a righteous lady,
Absolutely.
Meg Mallon.
Yeah, Meg Mallon and my sister Kathy were teammates at Ohio State back in the in 1980 and beyond. And you know what a great person that Meg is, and advancing the game for women's golf. And like she said, we're not just women; we're women golfers and the best in the world. So, you know, just to have her there. I got to go to the induction ceremonies a few years ago when Ken Venturi was inducted and Fred Couples was inducted, and just that whole vibe of the whole evening is just so special.
I want to ask you about Davis Love III. First time you saw him strike a golf ball, persimmon heads, muscleback blades.
Yes.
And what did you think?
1985, I'm warming up next to Davis at Atlanta Country Club for the Atlanta Classic. And we could kind of get to the end of the range and maybe run a ball down there towards the fence. And he was flying the golf ball into the trees and over top of the trees. And I went, yeah, this kid might have it. This kid he just might be pretty good one day.
No, and I will say this as well about Davis Love III. And Cara did a great job. She was like his prop operator. She was bringing out all these things. But what he did, I thought, was so clever and so touching. The threads in his family and showing the crystal that his father won while being a participant at the Masters tournament, to his own, to his son's driver, to his driver, and having his granddaughter up there with him. I thought that was a wonderful touch.
Yeah, and certainly golf runs deep in that family.
Most certainly.
You know, it's a special guy. You know, when you go into the World Golf Hall of Fame, and you know, when you're dishing the credit in other places, you know, that tells you what you're dealing with when you're talking about a Davis Love. I mean, sure, he played all the shots, but there was a lot of people that helped him get there, and he was certainly the first person to recognize that.
Well, you know, what makes a Hall of Fame player? I want you to identify qualities, different qualities that these four living members that were enshrined last night have that got them to this point.
Yeah, let's head over here and we'll have a little closer look at that. And you know, the thing about it is when I look at Hall of Fame quality type golfers, I see a lot of people that maybe have the physical attributes to get there, but what gets the actual Hall of Famers over the finish line? The intangibles. And so I've got one word for each of these players that I'm going to go over right now that I think I admire most. For Meg Mallon, it's attitude. There's probably never been a better smile in the game. And you think about, you know, Meg, she went 13 years between U.S. Open victories. And, you know, Meg, it's easy to smile in the big times, but she was able to smile in the down times as well. And that's a quality that a lot of people just don't have. I'm not saying she didn't have any fire. That's certainly not the case. But she was able to absorb the downtimes by having an incredible attitude. And then when I looked at Ian Woosnam, guts. That's the word that comes up for me. I mean, not a big man, but oh my goodness, does he play this game in a big fashion. And I love hearing the stories. He is an absolute fighter. You look at the Masters win, a Ryder Cup record, Ryder Cup captaincy. He's the kind of guy, I love watching him celebrate as well, but he's the kind of guy, he did some boxing, he's the kind of guy that if a fight breaks out, I know he's not big man, but if a fight breaks out, I want Ian Woosnam on my team. And then Lorena Ochoa, I had a chance to walk a lot with her when I was out covering LPGA golf early in my broadcast career. Scoring. Lorena is not perfect in her golf swing and her putting stroke. She does some things that are a little bit quirky. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the clubs that she had when she was a junior were too heavy for her. And there's some funny head movements and a little bounce in the swing. But you know what? Lorena understood that her job was to put a score in the box, and she did it as well as anyone I've ever seen. She could absolutely go out and score. And then finally, we get back to Davis Love III. The word there for me is professionalism. I mean, Davis is a pro's pro. And you look at the fundamentals with Davis. John Cook was talking about in 1985 recognizing that. You can still recognize it today. The fundamentals in his golf swing, everything that he does is textbook. But you know what? He's also a heck of a professional and a gentleman outside the ropes. The way he conducts his business, the way he's lived his life. And Davis is a role model for all of us, not only how you play the game, but how you live your life. So these four champions and Hall of Fame members, I certainly admire them greatly, and I could go on for another hour or two on the attributes that I like from these players, Gary, but that's sort of the highlight for me right there.
Very well said. There's a lot going on. What else is happening now? Well, the Web.com finals will begin. The last event, the championship from Atlantic Beach Country Club up there just outside of Ponte Vedra, and this is about jobs. Players trying to play their way onto the PGA Tour for the first time, or players trying to make their way back onto the PGA Tour. A lot of stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of drama. Looking forward to that. What else is happening now? Lydia Ko, back in New Zealand. Two-time winner, two-time defending champion. Can she do it again? And we're going to talk more about Lydia a little bit later on. Charlie's going to discuss her. And you know what? We didn't know if we were going to see Rory after the PGA, but his season continues. He's going to play in the British Masters, so that is good for the European Tour, no question about it. So, our tee sheet, first hour on this Wednesday, the President's Cup. Lessons from the 2015 captain, Jay Haas. Plus, an event that was created this year that is great for the game of golf because, believe me, it'll inspire very good junior golfers. The Junior President's Cup. We're going to have live interviews and discuss the experience with the two captains, including one of our colleagues, Trevor Immelman. And we will go inside the locker room because it's time for Chris and John and Charlie to figure out teams. Who would they pair in the foursomes, which will be the format starting tomorrow morning. But for now, send it back over to Matt.
All right, Gary, coming up on today's show, look at this piece of property. It's called Cool Links. It's right next to Royal Dornoch in Scotland. Will it become a golf course? The guy who might build that golf course, Bill Coore, joins the show in a little bit. Stay with us. Lots more Morning Drive right after this. You want more cuddle? You want more cuddle? No, get away from me.